Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Thank you for joining us. We're into August here, and this is the Minnesota Real Estate Show every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. here at WCCO, downtown Minneapolis. Live show. We stream on social media, wherever you might be catching us, as well as going live on air, obviously, on News Talk 830 WCCO. Just a minute or two. This is a local show, a live show, and it's hosted by Mike Overson, Luminate Home Loans, Scott Wolmering, myself, Ryan O'Neill of the Minnesota Real Estate Team, RE/MAX Advantage Plus. Love your interaction throughout the show as well. Questions, comments, thoughts, don't hesitate to interrupt us. Corey Schmiedeberg, Midwest Money Management, also in studio with us here today. A lot to talk about. Scott, Mike, good morning, guys.
Hey, good morning, Ryan. Yeah, good to be here. Appreciate everybody tuning in. We're going to get going here just a minute or so. Like Ryan said, this is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. You can join us 612-294-6949 during the entire hour. Either call us at that number or text us. And you can also text your questions in right on the live feed, and we'll handle them as they come.
Yeah, a lot to talk about. A lot of changes in the real estate world with commissions and paperwork and lawsuits. And so we'll probably talk a little bit about that. We got some good news from interest rates. Mike's going to be sharing some good news.
Yep.
We got some maybe not as good news with stock market from Corey, but still good news.
Good news all in all.
Yeah, good news all in all. Mike, you probably haven't had a show like this where you can share some good news for a change.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about rates that start with a 5 on this show.
I'd like to go back to the tape if I could. I'd like to go back to the tape.
Yeah, you go back to the tape.
We did our predictions, because I believe that I said we would be in the 5s 30 days out of the election. I believe.
You believe. We may have to look.
Yeah, we'll have to see where we're at, but I think we're getting in the 5s.
Yeah.
We're there.
We're creeping.
We're real close.
That's a teaser.
Yes.
That's a teaser indeed. Again, 612-294-6949 is how you can catch us here throughout the show by phone or text. And this past week, we had our charity golf event. We'll talk about that a little bit. Thank you to everybody that took part in that. Mike was golfing. You're a good golfer, Mike. I've heard things about your golfing ability.
Good compared to what? I guess is the question.
You know what? You're actually Mike golfs once a year. And
One time a year.
Yeah.
All right, we're going live. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Corey, you golf too.
About twice a year.
Yeah, and how you golf?
Good for only golfing twice a year.
Good, yeah. Okay, here we go. We're going live on air on News Talk 830. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Hope your weekend's going well. Again, 612-294-6949, or just comment on the social media stream for any questions. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Thank you for joining us. August the 3rd, 2024, and we're live here every Saturday morning here on News Talk 830 WCCO for the Minnesota Real Estate Show, hosted by Mr. Mike Overson of Luminate Home Loans, Scott Wolmering, and myself, Ryan O'Neill of the Minnesota Real Estate Team and RE/MAX Advantage Plus. Here for your questions, comments, thoughts, 612-294-6949, 612-294-6949. That comes right into us in studio, again, by phone or text. And we've got a lot to talk about this week regarding interest rates, regarding some of the changes in the real estate market, regarding commissions, new forms. Corey Schmiedeberg, Midwest Money Management, also in studio with us today. Scott, Mike, good morning to you guys. Great to have you.
Yeah, good to be here. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Like Ryan said, this is the Minnesota Real Estate Show, and we do talk everything real estate and mortgage related. Exciting show. We're going to talk about, like Ryan said, what's going on in the interest rate world, which Mike will talk about. some exciting stuff there, which is going to then translate, I think, into the home selling world, which we'll talk about.
Yeah, Mike, let's dive in, man. You got some good news. Good news for a change. We haven't had much good news on the mortgage front in a while.
It is good news here, and we've had a really good week for interest rates. They've come down almost 0.5% this week alone. Two main reasons. There was a Fed meeting on Wednesday where they came out and they said inflation is heading in the direction that they want it to, and it's where they want it to be at. And they said they're probably going to drop interest rates in September at their September meeting. So that was a big boost as far as our interest rates going down. And then on Thursday, Friday, there was a bad jobs report that came out. And kind of in general, anything that's bad for the economy is good for interest rates. So a bad jobs report comes out. We just had the Fed saying that they're going to lower rates more than likely in September. Those two together really pushed our rates down. And, I locked a couple at 5.99% yesterday. Now that is with a point, and it's top tier credit, but it's a conventional loan at 5.99%.
So it's creeping. It's creeping down there.
So
VA was at 5.75 yesterday.
Yeah.
So when you say a point, Mike, is there normally a point when people are getting a loan, and what is a point?
So a point is 1% of your loan amount. So that it's a cost, right? It's a part of your closing costs there. So if you pay a point, you're paying 1% of your loan amount in exchange for a lower interest rate. It's just customary in today's world. That's why we talk about, if you ever since rates basically went up to 7% in October 2022, that's when points like came back. You go back to the late 90s and early 2000s, points were very common then. You go into the 80s, you're paying 2 points most of the time to get your rate down because rates were in the teens at that point. So at this point, it's very, very common and customary that someone is going to pay 1 point. All the interest rates that you see advertised out there online, those include 1 point. And so that's why we typically talk about that.
Yeah, it's interesting. We're so used to everybody's used to getting things on a discount. And so when I'll have somebody call and say, oh, you know what, let's say rates were at 7%. Mike's at 7, and there's this other place I can get it at 5. I said, you can't. Well, no, you should look at it. I said, I don't have to, because the money's not there. It's like people think, oh, this lender no, the money's the same. So you always want to look at apples to apples. What are you paying for? What is actually your rate? Are there points involved? So for example, a point, somebody's closing cost is 10,000, yours is 20. There's points in there. You're paying for it.
Yeah. It's funny because when I get someone who asks me, well, what interest rate would I be at? I always go back and say, well, what do you want it to be at?
Yeah.
Because I can get you almost any rate you want out
That's right.
there. If you pay enough points to get it, I can get you down to 4.99 today if you want to.
That's right.
Yeah, it is. Mike, just one other follow-up question. So when a buyer is paying a point, okay, then is there still the standard origination fee, which is 1% as well? Is that what most lenders are charging?
We haven't charged an origination fee for over 10 years. To be
Yeah,
honest
see,
with you.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they went away from origination.
Most lenders don't charge an origination fee, to be honest with you. You have your processing and your underwriting fee. Those are like the two standard fees that most lenders are going to have out there. An origination fee is kind of a thing of the past, to be honest with you. If someone's still charging that, it's basically they're just calling an origination fee instead of a discount point. So if someone's like, hey, what's your rate today? And they say, oh, it's 6.25. Does that include any points? They can technically say no.
No.
But you have
because it's an origination.
because it's an origination
Yeah.
fee instead of discount
Yeah.
point. It's the same thing.
So in that, for example, the 1% that you're charging, is that going to the mortgage company primarily, or how does that work? Is that
Yeah, and any fee that you pay on the loan side of things, on the mortgage company side of things. So whether it's an origination fee, a discount point, a processing fee, an underwriting fee, lock fee, whatever, right? There's you can name whatever. You can have whatever fees you want to out there as a lender, as long as you disclose it. All of that goes to the lender, and so it doesn't really matter what it's labeled. You can see the loan estimates now are broken out between, like, here's lender fees, here's title company fees, here's government fees. You can see that box, and it's very easy to compare, lender to lender, what their fees are.
Yeah, before the first break, we always like to give a real estate update as well in the Twin Cities metro area. New listings, new homes for sale up 6.3% year over year, about 1,500 new listings. Pending sales, accepted offers down 8.5%, 937. Pending sales, so down year over year, a little over 8%. The inventory of total homes for sale, up 11%, 9,224. Still that median sales price, interesting guys, because of the lack of inventory in the Twin Cities, historically low, that median sales price is still slightly increasing, 1.8% to 390,000. Scott, I know we're close to a break, but quick thoughts before the break.
Quick thoughts is it's getting better. If you've tracked the show for the last 6 weeks, we've been down 15%, down 20%, down 22% as far as new homes are accepted offers. That's now at 8%. That's the drop in rates. The same amount of buyers were out there. It's been awesome. Now they're going, okay, hey, this is trending in the right direction, and we're starting to see that. I think in the next 2 weeks, that 8 will be to a positive number, and we'll be ahead of the curve again.
Yeah, again, 612-294-6949 is how you can join us at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Before the break, we've got a listing. Sue Marty has one in Burnsville, 150 East Burnsville Parkway, Unit 306 for $214,900. It is an N unit townhome, lots of windows, 2-bed, 2-bathroom, two-car garage. It's got an open concept, hardwood floors, freshly painted, move-in ready. Again, 150 East Burnsville Parkway, Unit 306 for a $214,900. Nice looking property. Mike's actually looking at the photos here too. Be sure to check that out again. Sue Marty has that listed. Folks, this is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Good morning, everybody. Thanks, friends on social media, for joining us. We appreciate you wherever you might be catching us. If you ever have questions too, things you want us to talk about, we are here for you to answer any and all questions that you might have. Corey Schmiedeberg, Midwest Money Management, in studio. Corey, great to have you, bud.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was good to be out at your golf tournament on Thursday.
Little golf action.
Yeah.
Corey's a golfer. This guy's a
Oh
golfer.
my gosh. I golf twice a year. Your golf tournament and then another one that we sponsor.
Yeah. And Mike, how did Mr. Scott play?
You know what? Depending on gauging by how upset he was at some points of the match, I would say
Yes.
he probably played not as well as he would have liked to.
I see.
That would be an accurate assessment.
That's good.
Okay, that'd be an accurate assessment.
That's good. But he was a good teammate.
He was a good teammate. Yes. Very helpful.
Luckily, we had Suzanne Joy that held the team up
Yes.
with positive reinforcement. So we were gung.
And Corey, did you golf with Adam?
I did. Yeah, our whole team was out there.
Hartung's, he's good, isn't he?
Yeah, he doesn't golf as much as he used to, but he still gets out there. Connor's a really good
Yeah.
golfer, though.
You guys work too much. You were helping
We
people
do.
with
Yeah.
money questions, and we were just talking about not a happy thought, but life insurance. We were talking about a friend whose husband passed away very young suddenly, and it's just something you don't think about, Corey. I know you guys help in a variety of ways, but that's one thing, one piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, it is. It was kind of ironic. It's a little closer to home, the story, but yeah, young couple. We're a comprehensive planning firm, so we do the money management and all that. But probably the most important thing for a young 20s, 30-something couple is get yourself some inexpensive term life insurance. It's the one thing you can do for the loved ones that you have, that God forbid if something happens to you tragically, unexpectedly, the money can't bring you back, but it can sure relieve a lot of burden on your family. So.
Yeah, again, first-time home buyers, Mike, are you seeing many of those in this market? If you look at your active purchase agreements that you got, how many first-time home buyers do you have versus move-up buyers?
Yep. I would say first-time home buyers probably 35%, roughly.
That's still pretty good.
About a third.
Yeah. Versus what would you think it would have been in the first 6 months of 2022?
Oh boy.
Low.
Could you get a first-time home buyer?
Yeah, you couldn't get a deal done. Multiple offers.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking of that year. I don't think I got any done until after August in that year.
Yeah, it was very hard. Lots of offers, multiple offers. Sellers were going with cash offers. Didn't want to go with first-time home buyers. Here we go. We're going back live on air with CCO. Thanks for joining us. Hey, thanks for joining us, everybody. Hope your weekend is starting off well. 612-294-6949 is how you can always join us here at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Got to give a nice shout out. John Love, Scott, has a listing down in New Prague. Grew up in New Prague. This one is listed for $550,000. It's 25000 St. Benedict Road. And it is a 3+ acre hobby farm ready for your personal touches, John said. It's 1910 built. It's a 1.5 story home, 4-bed, 2-bath, large country kitchen, a family room with a wood stove, over 2,400 finished square feet. There's a 36 by 80 pole building for additional parking. And of course, plenty of storage for your toys. There's a chicken coop, detached garage shop, 2 older outbuildings around this beautiful setting. Check that out, 25000 St. Benedict Road for $550,000. A chicken coop, Scott.
Outside? Outside chicken coop or inside chicken coop?
Yeah, chicken. Very, very cool property. Just briefly, I wanted to say thank you. This past week, every year, the Minnesota real estate team does a annual charity golf fundraiser for a local charity. This year, super grateful that collectively the team chose our family's foundation called the O'Neill Foundation of Hope. Through the generosity of all these guys next to me in studio here, by golfing, sponsors, people stopping out for a great day this week. We raised over $34,000 to help local families, individuals in our community. Just a quick example, guys. This week, the person that the O'Neill Foundation of Hope helped was a young man who got rear-ended in a car accident, gets out of his car, right in Minneapolis here, gets out of his car to talk to the person to get insurance information. Well, he gets out of the car. They start kind of communicating a little bit. This other person had a lead pipe, hits him over the head.
Oh, wow.
Knocks him over the head. He wakes up in an ambulance, not knowing what has happened. As a result, he's had some strokes, brain bleeds, has not been able to work. The company was threatening to evict him. And so we connected with him. We're able to help financially to help him avoid eviction. Those are the type of people we help. So I'm just super grateful for people stopping out. But yeah, I mean, what a sad deal. The guy gets in a car accident and literally gonna start chatting with him, and the guy pops out and bonks him over the head with a pipe.
Yeah, it's obviously a very sad story. And there's been so many just very cool, uplifting stories. You know, what I love about the O'Neill Foundation of Hope is you can see who you're helping.
Yeah.
It's like, like I do Tunnel to Towers. I think it's a great thing. Where it actually goes to the people that you're helping. Post your stories on Facebook. You can follow it. It's just, it's fun and it's awesome. And again, not all charities are great. It's just nice to be able to see who you're actually helping. Like this family was touched.
Yeah, and again, we move quickly. Part of it is we find out, we determine the need. We can move quickly financially to help them. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So just a huge thanks to everybody, whether you were there in person or you were golfing, stopping out. Lots of sponsors as well. In fact, one of those sponsors was our friends at Midwest Money Management. And I've got that nice disclosure, Corey, too. Oh, thank you. But I want to give a shout out again to Midwest Money Management, who is also part of the event. Corey Schmiedeberg is a financial services specialist, accredited investment fiduciary, certified tax specialist, and the vice president of Midwest Money Management, located at 17316 Kenyon Avenue in Lakeville, Minnesota. Securities offered through JW Cole Financial Inc., member FINRA SIPC. Fee-based investment advisory services offered through JW Cole Financial Inc., a registered investment advisor. Midwest Money Management is independent of JW Cole Financial Inc. and JW Cole Advisors Inc. Every time I try to read it a little faster to see how I got to keep practicing that. But we appreciate you, Corey.
Yeah, thanks for having us today. A lot going on, right? Stock market, election, interest rates, all kinds of fun stuff.
So the stock market, Mike's just had good news. Interest rates, great. That means bad news. Stock market, they're talking recession, terrible jobs report, stock market tanked. That's what I heard.
Yeah, the stock market's been down about 3% in the last month, I guess, if you will. But the positive side is it's up double digits still for the year. So I think psychologically, we all have a tendency to anchor to the high point, but when, like most things, when we take a step back, we realize that things are not as bad as maybe that they seem in the immediacy.
You like that, Scott?
They're not as bad as they seem.
Yeah.
In this where we're at currently, that's good to know because they seem pretty bad.
Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, it's kind of like, our real estate market, when COVID was around, we went up like 15%, like 30% in 2 years or
Yes.
something like that, right? And then if there's a little bit of a pullback, everyone's like,
Hey, easy.
I just
My
want-
neighbor sold for 50 grand more a couple of years ago.
right? And it was like, well, okay, yeah. So if you go back 2 years ago, we're up 25% instead of 30%.
Yeah.
We're still doing all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the truth. It's the 2 steps forward, 1 step back mentality when it comes to investing. On average, if you read anything, on average, the stock market is up 2 out of 3 years and down 1 out of 3 years. So obviously it doesn't mean up 2, back 1, up 2, back 1, but the further you go out, and we know through statistics and probability, if you win more than you lose, you're going to be ahead at the end of the day.
Yeah, what's really cool with Midwest Money Management, friends, just outstanding humans, part of this organization. You guys do a halftime report, which is a really great, informative piece for our CCO listeners. Tell people about that.
Yeah, so we do 2 events. We do a live one in January. If you want to get information on it, you can go to our website, midwestmoneymanagement.com. We do that live, and that's available to clients and certainly prospects or CCO listeners. But we just released our virtual halftime report last week. And again, it's available on our website. If you go to our website, midwestmoneymanagement.com, and up in the top right-hand corner, if you go to events, and you click on halftime, and then you click on the YouTube link, you'll be able to watch about a 30-minute presentation that our president and founder, Adam Hartung, put together. And it's a nice 30-minute synopsis. It's easy, it's digestible. He does a wonderful job of just giving everybody a little perspective on what's going on. And the topics that he covered this time are the markets, the economy, the national debt, the Federal Reserve and interest rates. And then, of course, everybody's favorite topic this time, every 4 years, is politics.
Oh, he did not, did he?
Yeah, but what I can tell you is there were no predictions. It was not partisan politics. It was good behavioral finance around politics and how your investment strategy should not be predicated or dictated by your political affiliation or what you're watching on the news or whether it's a Democrat or a Republican or anything. He kind of takes a perspective and talks about how the way that we manage assets doesn't really matter what's going on from a political standpoint.
Yeah, it is. Again, as you're listening to this, you may be thinking, hey, I'm just out of college. I don't have any money to invest. You may be further along in life and thinking, well, hey, I'm wanting to do some investing, but I don't have the funds to do it, or I don't know how to do it. You may be near retirement age and trying to find people you can trust. I mean, Corey, you and your team really work with everybody across the board. One of the reasons we love you is you're just, I would think with firms like you guys just try to, a lot of companies may try to just get the high net worth people because that's where you make money. You guys really have helped everybody. You certainly have plenty of great big clients, I would think, but you help everybody.
Yeah, we do. We have very, very large clients and then multi-generational clients. We're primarily a referral firm. Referrals from the radio are certainly welcome, but we don't have account minimums. We are investment fiduciaries, so we put our clients' interests ahead of our own. We offer a free compatibility consultation really to anybody, and we'll meet them where they're at. If it's just hey, I want to schedule a 15-minute phone call to talk about where I'm at and see if if we need to qualify even coming in, or if we can answer your questions on the phone. We do Zoom, or we're certainly happy to sit down with you. And there are times where we sit down with a person, we spend an hour with them, and they leave, and there's not a business relationship because maybe their money's all tied up at their employer, or they just don't need our help, or they're a do-it-yourselfer. But many, many times it's like anything. If you treat people right, when there's an opportunity, they will remember that and come back to you, or they'll refer their friends and family.
We're going to keep you here, of course, for the second half of the show to continue the discussion, Corey. Before I forget, best way for people to connect with you as well.
Yeah, our by far and away the best way is our website. Just go to midwestmoneymanagement.com. We're in Lakeville. You can call our office phone number 651-204-3000, or of course you can go to the Minnesota Real Estate Show website.
Yeah, again.
mnrealestateshow.com.
Yep. And again, we're going to continue the discussion with Corey Schmiedeberg, Midwest Money Management, Mike Overson, Luminate Home Loans, and of course, Scott Wolmering. Before we break, we've got one, Scott, in your neck of the woods in Lakeville. Crystal Vetter. Miss Crystal Vetter's got a great one at 17545 Java Court South. That's a 3-bed, 3-bath property, almost 3,000 finished square feet, an oversized lot. It's located on a quiet wooded cul-de-sac. Many updates throughout. Lots of storage space available with added storage space and shop in the large 3-car garage stall. And there's easy access to local parks, walking trails, retail, restaurants, and 35. And Crystal also noted, this is a 5-bed and bath property, 5-bedroom, 4-bath, but a super nice property. Be sure to check that one out. Again, 17545 Java Court South for $474,900. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show.
Hey, Corey, you were saying before the break, that you'll help people. Help me.
Okay.
Help me. And I wanted to do this.
I don't know if I can.
No,
All right, help me.
I wanted
Here we go,
I
Scott.
wanted to do this question not on the radio because this is not a political question, but I do have a question that I've just never been able to get an answer. And since you're the financial guru, so as a country, we're losing 5.2 trillion a year. Is that correct?
It's about
Yes.
it's about $1 trillion every 100 days.
Okay, so let's call it every 100 days.
Yeah, so give or take.
Give or take.
3.5 trillion.
Okay, so if I'm a household losing, put it in perspective, I'm losing $10 million a year. Okay, and I only make whatever, I make $10 million a year. I can't keep doing that.
Nope.
Okay, so I really want an answer on this. How do we do it? I mean, we cannot, like a business or a family or anybody, we can't keep losing 5.2 trillion. So I guess I'm just curious.
Kind of in simple terms.
Yeah,
How do
because
you do
we
it?
spend money like we have money. Well,
Yeah.
in that example, if I'm losing $10 trillion, I don't have money. I have access maybe to money,
Yeah.
but I don't have money.
The answer is you can't, and if it's the household that's doing it, you are using a credit card. That is what the government is doing. They're just printing money or printing bonds and basically creating their own unlimited credit card. And because we've had low interest rates, they've been able to reasonably service that debt.
Because they have
Correct.
access to money.
Correct.
Yeah, it's like a family or business. As long as you have access to that money and can still get it, you can stay afloat. But at some point, whether you're a family, a business, or a country,
Yeah.
if that ability to access that money gets cut off.
Yep.
And so that's the part that I always am like, my God, we're spending money like we have money. We don't have money.
Right. No,
So how do we get to where we have money again?
well, now we could get into politics.
Oh yeah,
but
I
the-
suppose that's.
The
I don't wanna do
truth
that.
of it is I mean, it's really quite simple. It's just like at home. You either need to get another job where you make more money. You need to, look at sell things, cut expense. You either need to increase your revenue or cut your expenses
Or the
at the end of the
combination
day,
of
or
both.
the
Increase
combination of both.
production.
Increase productivity,
Yes.
which is going to increase revenue.
AI,
Which was
we'll show
Adam
about
Burton
AI,
brought that up. I
Yep.
thought that was interesting.
where
Yeah.
productivity.
And we talk about AI in our halftime report and,
Okay.
and the projected, increase to revenue because of AI. But there is no magic bullet. I mean,
There's no magic bullet.
no.
Yeah, you either. But yeah, okay. That
Here we go.
That was
We'll
a
go
good
back live.
explanation.
Top of the morning to you, and welcome back to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. We appreciate you being here. 612-294-6949, the local real estate mortgage show. The Minnesota Real Estate Team. We are a group of agents who help people buy and sell real estate all throughout Minnesota, Western Wisconsin. If you are looking to buy or sell, you're looking to find a top agent, we would be honored to work with you. Just go to mnrealestateshow.com. You can fill out the form for a free market analysis to know what your home is worth. Or in this new market, if you're looking for a top buyer's agent to help you in this new climate, again, you can go to mnrealestateshow.com. Scott, Paul Popping on the team has a great listing in Clear Lake, 5131 99th Avenue for $645,000. It's on Briggs Lake, 75 feet of shoreline, 3-bed, 2-bath. It's almost an acre, 0.9 acres. It's a flat wooded lot, 5-car garage. Wow. 2 kitchens, great for small and big crowds, and a huge family room with a deck, great for entertaining. 5131 99th Avenue, Clear Lake, Minnesota. It is on, again, 75 feet of shoreline. Corey, we're talking about cabins here too. You got some exciting news.
I do, yeah. One of my favorite people and
You?
one of your
I thought-
agents, Crystal Vetter, who's helped
Yes.
us a lot. She helped my wife and I just, we're in the process of selling our current cabin and purchasing a new one.
Yeah, very exciting cabin time. Mike does not need it. Mike, tell people you bought it a good time.
Yeah, I did the cabin and the house all in one. The cabin up north, but the house
Put it-
here,
yes.
I just put them together is what I ended
Well, you
up
know,
doing.
put the kids and the wife in the car, you just stay there.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Way
And
better.
then I built a little detached garage that I can go hang out in, and then I can have my own space, and it works out great.
Or they flip it around the other way for all the gals. They say, we don't have to put Scott, the husband, in the car. We don't have to put Scott
Yes,
in
that's
the car.
That was,
You know,
very-
geez.
yes, thank you again for pointing that out. Through the years, that's right. I think, or she.
Yes.
Or she.
Or half the listenership just
Yes,
falls
yes,
off
that's
suddenly.
right.
We get some calls and texts saying, who's that Wolmering guy? What's he doing? But Mike, good news again. Good news in this environment. Other thoughts for folks from a mortgage standpoint here?
Yeah, so there's a magic number out there, and no one knows really what the magic number is, but the 5.5% mark was like the magic number to say, look, if we get raised to 5.5%, nationwide, there's another 9 million buyers or something like that gets injected into the market, right? So what happens when we inject 9 more million buyers that are actively now looking at houses? Multiple offers happen, right? Yeah, there's more competition out there. So then what happens? You start taking home inspections away. You start going over list price to get your offer accepted. We kind of go back to that. Now, no one knows if the 5.5 mark is that mark or where it's going to be, but the lower interest rates go, you just got to know that the more buyers are going to come out of the woodwork. So if you have the opportunity to buy a house sometime in the next 12 months, when's the best time to buy? I would say right now.
But it is. Make no mistake about it. And again, I know I'm talking realtor talks. You're probably not going to track this, but I'll make it as simple as I can. So I have a listing right now with 1,300 saved buyers on it. The most I'd ever had before this was 798.
In MLS.
In
You can
MLS.
see that in the
So they're-
MLS database we have.
Correct. So when agents out there have 1,300 buyers that have this criteria saved for their buyer, 4-bedroom, 2-story in X. Okay. Normally that is 200 showings and 45 offers. I mean, those numbers are off the hook. This particular property has had 5 showings in 2 weeks. So what that tells, to Mike's point, what that tells us is you're out there. The buyers are still there. In fact, they're climbing. They're there. They're getting bigger. They're getting bigger. They don't like what they're buying and they don't like the interest rate. Well, all of a sudden they're going to rates, let's say, get into the 5s. Now everything becomes appealing, and that huge group of buyers that's been sitting on their hands jumps in.
Yeah, again, 612-294-6949 is how you can join us here at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. We did have a question come in. This one is in regard to the commissions and the new commission lawsuit. This one just says, as a seller, am I required now to pay out a commission to a buyer's broker?
No, you never were. You were never required to pay out a buyer's agent. You were still not required to pay out a buyer's agent. And hopefully your agent will have the same discussion with you that we've always had, which is you definitely do not. However, a market is determined on the amount of people that you can drive through a listing to elicit the most money that eventually goes in your pocket. And I still, like I said on the show last week, as a seller, the only commission that you should be interested in before you list your home is listing agent. What are you paying out the buyer side? Start there. Okay, 2.7. Now we're set. Now let's talk about what you want to make on your commission, because the 2.7 buyer payout is what is going to drive the agents to get people through your home. And you can say, and I'll listen to people say, oh, that will not deter me at all. I'll show it that they're paying out 1%, if they're paying out 2.7, and good for you. And that might be the case. All industries have not so scrupulous people. That's part of a market. You start removing them from showing your house, you're going to get less money. So no, you do not. Never have.
Yeah, again, this is a good one. Maybe I'll take this one. I'm guessing rates will drop, the texter said. What will that do to home prices? Again, just simple terms, supply and demand with home prices. We're still at a historical low here in the Twin Cities. If rates continue to drop, more and more buyers are going to come out of the woodwork. And we're going to see more demand again. And like in Scott's example, instead of 5 showings on that listing, maybe he gets 10, 20, 30 showings on it, more offers. And so with the shortage of inventory, I just can't stress enough that buyers, agents out there, every day I get 5 buyer need emails of, hey, I've got a pre-approved buyer looking in Matamidi up to 500,000. Here's what they're looking for. There is nothing on the market. Help me. And Mike, we see those all the time.
Yeah, we do see those, and it's so weird because you'll go out there and people go out there and be like, yeah, but I see homes getting built everywhere. There's new construction going up, and builders have all this. They're sitting on inventory and they're giving incentives so they can sell their stuff. Like, how are we low on inventory?
Well, think about this. 2 years ago, think about that. 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, if I was working with you right now and you wanted to buy new construction, remember that? You're not into this year or next year. You're into the following year. You couldn't even build within 18 months. There was no inventory at all. Rates went up. Now all of a sudden you go to a builder. How many specs do you have? Oh, we have 4. You can build it. You can buy that one. You can buy that one. You can buy that one. So that's what's happened is, houses have gone up. Rates have gone up. People have said, I don't like this rate. I don't like what I'm able to buy with this rate. Builders are the same way. They were having to buy rates down to 5%. Now they're not having to do that anymore. So yeah, it's interesting again, because they're there. The same buyers are there. And
Yeah, just one other thought again is be sure as you're talking to your agent that he or she really looks at your local market, your neighborhood, your community, your price point. Real estate is very, very specific in that regard. And your agent's going to help you understand what are the market conditions. We have a really good tool as agents. It's just called InfoSparks, which is part of North Star MLS. And what InfoSparks does is a ton of data. Corey, you guys probably deal with a ton of data every day. What that does, it helps your agent determine what's going on here in my price point, my area, my market, so that they can share that with you, Corey, as a prospective home seller. So you understand, okay, what are we up against? Are we going to have 50 people knocking on our door, or we got nobody in our market or neighborhood?
Yeah, you talk about tools. One of the tools that we use is it's a Fed watch tool, and we watch interest rates. And a month ago, it was 100% probability that the Feds were going to cut rates, 90% by a quarter, 10% by a half a point in September. I just looked this morning. It still is at 100%, but it has shifted even more. It's 78% to a quarter and 22% to a half a point. The question that I have for you guys is, so in the supply, demand, our house prices, all this stuff. So in the last 2 years, we've had all these people that have bought houses and they're at 7% or, give or take. Even if rates come down, I would have to assume that that's not even going, like, those people aren't even going to move probably, right? They're just going to refinance and stay where they are. So it's not like there's going to be a flood of homes even from those people coming on the market.
yeah, but the reversal or we've been we're 3.5 years past 2.7, 2.8%. Those people are starting to be in their house for a while. Yeah, they're not going to jump to 7.5 because they don't like the payment and whatever. But rates drop into the fives, their house goes up, another 15%. Now they're out at 2.7, but they're at 5.5. It's not 7. So they enter in. And so that starts to it kind of starts to move us in the right direction.
Yeah, we're up against the final break here at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Before we do, Adam Benedict's got a great listing in Minneapolis, 1912 DuPont Avenue South, number 202, for $165,000. It's an updated condo. It's got a great open concept layout, a king-size primary bedroom, 2 separate closets, off-street parking, updated common spaces. And it's in one of the most conveniently located neighborhoods in the cities. Again, 1912 DuPont Avenue South, number 202 for $165,000. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show each week, again, from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. We'll be back after the break. Good points, good comments. Corey, any other numbers or data we did not get to? Any other stats?
No, not that I can. No, I think the biggest thing is just the what's going to happen with interest rates, because that affects so many things for people.
So when the Fed goes, tell us again, Mike, as he's talking about, they're predicting Fed's going to lower the rates. What does that do to mortgage rates?
I mean, immediate impact, typically if the Fed lowers rates, like we might actually see the day or two afterwards actually go up just a little bit,
Yeah.
which is weird, right? You wouldn't think that goes up a little bit, but then if you look over the next couple months, it comes down,
Yeah.
right? And so the net effect is Fed lowers interest rates.
Everybody hedges their bet,
Yep.
watches for it to go, and then jumps
And
back.
then goes down, and then we'll see our interest rates fall, with it. So,
Yeah, because that's ultimately where the cost of money ends up.
Yeah. Mike, as you think about, this week at your at the tournament, the golf tournament, I got to spend time with your awesome team. You got a great group of folk. Tell
Yeah.
people just so they understand a little bit that back end.
Yeah. So I mean, I would like to take all the credit that we get loans done on time and stuff like that. I can tell you right now, I'm responsible for maybe 20% of that. And there's other people that are responsible for the 80% of it.
Trust me.
Right. So, and that's what Ryan got to hang out with a little bit at the golf event, was the other 80% of my team. So my assistant and my processor and all those people that help out on the back end, the people that make the magic happen that you don't see, right? They're the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain, but trust me, they're the ones making the magic happen back there. So,
They had
Oh, yeah.
a fun little wheel spin game too.
I know they did have a little wheel.
Yeah, I mean, I think about through the years, I've only had 25 years. I've had really three full three assistants,
Yeah.
and they've all been great. And it's like, man, oh man, without them, it's just you can shut it down.
yeah,
It's literally.
just shut it down.
Yeah, if I had to do anything that was detailed, it would not be a good thing.
Had another text message question come in again, 612-294-6949. This one is also regarding the lawsuit. MLS, when do the changes happen where commission is no longer listed on MLS? Actually, it's the 17th.
Yep.
So it's coming up on the 17th. So that's the biggest change, is that the commission will no longer be listed on the MLS. We have, Corey, something called agent remarks, where we can communicate with each other. And so a lot of agents are thinking, well, maybe I'll put like a code word or a website or direct them somewhere. Nothing related to commission.
Or a
no-
screaming emoji.
Yeah.
Says,
Yeah.
I pay cash.
Or one I saw yesterday says, fellow agents, show with confidence.
yes.
So
wink,
anyway,
wink.
You're going to get
Just
paid.
Show with confidence.
show with
wink.
confidence. So it's just all these things. But the short answer is, fellow agents, we cannot do it. You can't have it anywhere. It's going to be gone. It's absolutely going to be gone.
You can't put show of confidence on there, right?
I mean, I'm sure somebody will
Test the
get
waters.
upset about it. Oh yeah.
Yes.
You'll see it, right?
Well, a lot of people have talked about websites. Can I set up a website where they've got to then call to find out, are you cooperating as a listing agent? All that stuff. MLS with the lawsuit just says nothing
So-
related to commission.
So let's say you're a listing agent and you got a hot listing, bread and
Oh, we
butter.
gotta jump.
Let's go back. We can
Yeah.
stay it on here.
Yeah. Bread and butter.
Bread and butter.
Are you hungry?
I could use a Quest cookie.
Hey, thanks for joining us, everybody. We do appreciate it. We've got 2 last listings I wanted to hit. Susan Mall has one in Chanhassen, 8030 Erie Avenue, 4-bed, 2-bath Rambler. It is price reduced. It's got a spacious finished basement, new roof, close to the highway, shopping, entertainment, 3 bedrooms on 1 level. Mike, it is electric vehicle ready as well. 8030 Erie Avenue in Chanhassen, listed with Susan Mall. And then Mr. Paul Dokauer. Paul's got one in Coon Rapids, 12648 Avocet Street. It's listed for $550,000. 4-bed on 1 level, 4-bath, 4-car garage. Got a lower level entertainment area, complete with the bar, wine room, room for activities, lower level walkout to an outdoor bar grill. Screen porch below the deck to enjoy those stormy nights with a cocktail, Paul says. Primary bedroom has a see-through fireplace with jetted tub, executive neighborhood access to miles of bike trails and parks. Check that one out in Coon Rapids, 12648 Avocet Street, listed for $550,000. Guys, we're on the home stretch of the show here. Mike, you had a thought too.
Yeah, so I'm gonna pick Scott's brain here a little bit. So Scott has a listing where he's got 1,300 saved searches, right?
Yep.
So ton of buyers, right? Ton of buyers have this house on their radar. They've looked at it. They've shown interest. They
4-bedroom, 2-bath Rambler in Burnsville.
boom, right?
Yep.
Okay, so the new rules go into effect where now buyer agent commissions cannot be put anywhere on the MLS. So I imagine that the amount of phone calls that you're going to get on this one listing of agents calling to say, hey, is there some sort of buyer's commission payout on here? Like, what's the plan with fielding like all those calls and all that stuff?
Yeah, we've been talking about that. I mean, the answers are you can go to the broker's websites and go to the direct website, which I would strongly recommend because I will answer my phone. Ryan will answer his phone. Most agents don't answer their phone. So that's going to be a headache. So you can go to the broker's website and you can see if they're paying out. So that would be the easiest.
Yeah.
Probably texting the agent would be the easiest, so that he doesn't actually or she doesn't actually have to answer your phone. And at the end of the day, if they don't respond, you're going to write your commission that you've agreed to with your buyer, which you've always agreed to with your buyer, which is the same commission. You're going to write that into the purchase agreement.
You could also door knock.
Yeah.
Speaking of door knock, how about this? My wife and I, we live in Bloomington. About 9 o'clock the other night, rang the doorbell. I'm like, what in the world? We do get a lot of solicitors. You know me, my response, Scott, you can imagine with solicitors.
But you called me right after I did it.
So anyway, I thought it was just kind of funny. I had to go outside. I don't see anybody at all. And I'm just like, well, what's going on here? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I just got ding dong ditched. So I walked to the front of my driveway and there I see 2 little boys scampering away. And it's funny because I picked up my phone, like I put it alongside of my head. And then they looked back and like, oh my gosh, he's grabbing his phone. And they kept running. They probably were, I don't know, they were little kids, but we had not been ding dong ditched. And in recent memory, guys, brings some good memories.
That makes me think about, remember when we grew up? So like if somebody knocked on our door, I mean, that was like, we all jumped up. It was awesome. Like we've got visitors. That happened all the time. Now if somebody knocks on your door, rings your door, you're like, what in the world? It used to be like we have company or we have visitors. And that was awesome. Everybody went there. Now it's like, what in the world? Somebody's knocking on my door.
Do you guys, when you guys were kids, do you remember May Day with the May baskets when people would come and ding dong and leave a basket there?
Yes, my mother and my dear mother-in-law,
Yes.
Sue Kane. Sue would do that. Sue, very thoughtful, would do the May baskets.
Yeah, my mom used to make them and we would do that. And I've talked to people that are in their 20s and they have no clue what I'm talking about.
Hey, a real estate thing because we're getting to the end of the show, but it just reminded me. Yeah, if you've listened to the show for the last 20 years, you know that we don't do a lot of salesy stuff, but this is one that we're going to do. So with the rules changing, if you are an internet shopper that have not committed to a real estate agent right now, and that's kind of how you go about real estate, you are now going to have to sign a contract with an agent to go through a home. Not every agent's equal. Hopefully, listen to the show over the last 20 years, you understand that you can trust us, that we will look out for your best interest. And the bottom line is you are going to have a contract signed now to see homes. So we are just offering, please reach out to us, mnrealestateshow.com. If you're in the market, your son or daughter is in the market, and you want to make sure that they are protected in this new wave that we're having, that's new. We are here to help, and we just wanted to offer that, mnrealestateshow.com.
Yeah, absolutely. 612-294-6949. Door knockers, solicitors. It is funny, Scott, because now it is like, what are you selling? The
Well,
other
that was that when you called me the other night.
Yeah.
He called. I said they're not selling anything now. They're just getting money.
Yeah, well, and then I don't know. We get a lot. We had another one too where he door knocked. He didn't have any of his marketing materials or any Garbon or anything. He
You
said,
asked him for a card.
yeah, I asked him for a card. He said, no, I don't carry cards. He was looking for pest control, and it was a little after 9 o'clock. It was dark, and I'm like, I said, thanks for knocking. Thanks for reaching out. We're covered for pest control. I said, do you have a card though? I'd love to spread the word about your business. And he kind of looked at me. He's like, no, I don't have a card. I don't. I said, you don't have a card? I don't know. Door knocking, I suppose, Mike, a lot of ways to make a living in the world.
Yeah, I mean that's hard work. Man, they step at our house too, and I'm just like, I applaud them for like the efforts.
Oh,
And
yeah.
going up there. I even told her, there's a young girl that came up. I'm like, look, I literally just signed up like with someone else because we have radio show partners that do that. So I explained to them like, look, like your sales pitch was great, everything is good. I was like, I'm very impressed with your presentation here, but I signed up with someone else, and I was like, I applaud you though.
Yeah, I always do that with solicitors on the phone.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Corey Schmiederberg, Midwest Money Management. Great job, bud.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, MidwestMoneyManagement.com. We are at the end of the show already. It's been a fun one. We'd be honored to help you and your families however we can with your real estate needs. Enjoy the weekend. Stay cool, everybody. Thanks again. We'll be back next Saturday. Take care. Thank you all for joining us. I got a nice comment. Jen, thank you so much for your comment. Hello from Jerry. We are definitely going to reach out to Jerry and do our absolute best to help him as well. Thank you for watching the show, guys. Good job.
Yeah, awesome job.
You too. Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, good work. Ding dong ditch. No ding dong ditching, Corey.
I won't be doing that today. It's too hot.
Did you do that when you were a kid?
I think we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, we did that, and then snowballing cars was the big thing when I was a kid.
Snowballing cars. Oh man! One last thing, what we used to do as well is the rope trick, where you get people on both sides of the road. You act like you're pulling a rope,
Yes.
and then as people are driving up, they're like, "What's going on?"
Yeah, well, in Bemidji, we did it actually with real shards on the road. So that I'm kidding.
All right, everybody, take care. We'll be back next weekend. Thanks for watching us. So many.